Hey people, today is another time for our BAKWAI WAPAALA DALUNG. And the issues that we're going to discuss this week have to do with the LGBTQ bill in Parliament. We would also be discussing the picketing at the buffer stock. And then we look at, there was some also trouble between Honorable Murtala Mohammed and Oslo Wusu. And of course, our own brothers were ordained as priests in Wiagan. And that was a very great occasion that we cannot lose sight of. Bakwana de te BAKWAI WAPAALA DALUNG Ghana to wabianga te bisila Parliament aya nyemasa kama we barana bisu batawada nyi ate ba kase no poba ala ya no poba no doma no poba kulaga butafi we to ba nyemasa kama ate ba bisu big Parliament opo ma pole bale bise marsala wada nyereza wonyi honorable and Pierre Kubi Dr. Aleyere wene we wada nyereza MP mamena siyakama ambala panza ji asiyare imba pass law ate fra bise fra mborinya yan fra ngano poya no po ya fukano by darf turna maha age barantata mukabatafu to kulangin at Speaker of Parliament wa ya sebule bagento babu wono le bagla khama empira mbori waka siare ayimba to lonjini at ba agabe wangala chap was anza to studio to la jabulu sote way wakan siala to wala wona la nyen yuko wala nyine ma pole kwesa wona wala babangala la to wom
any person any honorable members, any honorable member who disagrees with the submissions just made by the Honorable and the Apia Kubi that all the 275 are in support of the bill. Anybody who disagrees, be on your feet and I will recognize you.
to banyelak ma yiri bal yiri brekla honorable Bagbin amanjaya ka wavira monyi ala kawna kula to kala dalung global ba de mba dalung ate embe mabayita chap amwe honorable Murtala wakata male MP awala we ablukuma MP wa no pola nyae te tangal misang bisan la bala wezu to raga tangal misang la Oslo Wusu awala wa mara tumke wa mara nyema we ba nye buta fisan we ngata ba tola to na boma supu to mara yir to ko dum tojigni to speaker we ne we Murtala pele yi wona ne dila won bise kase won bise marse abu to Murtala mbokan siya oze jabu zar ba amba nyala to ba formate wo me anen kar wala bise di mena la waye base te no ga manke we na pome won bu ye wona go mala bise di la o we mutala o kayesa to re ira kunsi an walwa an we wa tumdala o bonyolo o ba golo po ya wolle ya woma o gamende kriya.
I sat here and repeatedly heard Honorable Mutala refer to me as a practitioner of LGBT to the hearing of everyone in this house. I sat here and repeatedly heard him
Honorable Minister,
shout at the top of his voice and refer to me as a practitioner of LGBTQ. And every single last one of you is behaving as if you didn't hear it. And if in response to that I say he is mad, it is only a madman who will refer to his colleague in this house as a practitioner of LGBTQ when you haven't seen me having sexual intercourse with your wife or your daughter or your mother. Listen and refer to me in those terms. In those terms.
Honorable Minister.
Alege Fram Putin Chakame, Tina Umbuntu Kuma Nyinga Kunala, Nempore Bena Dijoletala, Drinking we come on Walijambo, Walijambo Sukula, Wajamaranye, Wala no problem, Saja Wali Chakama Sukuopo, when you go there, newspaper on a mercy. Karen regular Torrent and way buntu kuma nyanga good night. For we let my yira ganga laba nyevagasia. Okay, so the first issue has to do with the discussion of the LGBTQ plus bill in Parliament, the bill for the promotion of proper family values. That is the title. It was championed by Sam George and other MPs. And during the discussion, Honorable and the Apia Kubu, who was one of the early promoters of the bill, stood up to announce that all 275 MPs were in support of the bill. And so, based on that, Honorable Speaker, the Right Honorable BAKWAI decided to test the waters to see whether it is indeed true that all MPs were in support. So he said that, well, the MPP says all of you are in support. If there's any honorable member here who is not in support, he should stand up and he will give an opportunity for him to explain himself. Nobody stood up. And I'm sure they didn't stand up because of the fear of losing their seats, because Ghanaians abhor the LGBTQ movement kind of things. And if you're an MP who openly supports that, certainly you are going to lose the next election. And perhaps if you had called for a secret ballot, would have seen numbers, but with this one, nobody showed up. And then, as part of that, Sam George warned that the West has a penchant for trying to frighten African countries who are trying to be independent and to take their own destiny to their own hands by imposing sanctions, just like they did in Uganda. To the speaker, the Ugandan speaker has been asked, she can't travel outside, and I'm told her foreign accounts have also been frozen. And back when Honorable Sam George is warning that if the US or Western countries try that on Ghana's parliament, they will also attack their business interests in Ghana. So that's the video you watch that now.
Mr. Speaker has stood his ground and ensured that this bill has come this far. And I want to use this opportunity with the support of my colleague members of Parliament, since we all support this bill, to serve notice to the Western powers that we have taken judicial notice of what they have done to the Speaker of Uganda. After Uganda passed the bill, the sanctions on the Speaker of Uganda's Parliament and on the sponsors of those bills, we will serve notice as well that if they replicate same with our Speaker and members of Parliament, we will also take action against their business interest in our country, because they serve in this country and make money from here and take back home. They cannot hold us to ransom. And like has been asked on this floor, Mr. Speaker, why is it that the American Secretary of State has not sanctioned the Secretary of Defense? Because June was declared Pride Month and they had transgender parades. The US Secretary of Defense blocked and stopped a transgender parade on a US Air Force base because he said the US Pentagon, which is their defense headquarters, would not support such activity. Governor DeSantis has passed legislation against open transgender parades in Florida. Why have they not taken on their own citizens? In fact, in 2022 alone, there were 433 actions in state house of legislatures across the United States banning and clamping down on homosexuality. The Supreme Court of the United States, SCOTUS, just last week passed a landmark judgment enforcing the rights of American citizens to refuse to offer services to people on the basis of their faith and because they were LGBTQ.
So after that, there was a recess, and when sitting resumed, BAKWAI gave way for one of his deputies to take over, and they issued a heated confrontation between Honorable Murtala Mohammed of the Tamale Central, and then Honorable Oslo Wusu of Ablekuma. And what was the issue? Apparently, the speaker claims Murtala said Oslo was a promoter of LGBTQ rights, and she didn't take kindly to that. She also called me a mad person. The speaker prevailed upon Honorable Murtala to withdraw his words, and Honorable Murtala resisted, but after some time he gave in. But in withdrawing his words, he also called on the speaker to make sure Honorable also withdraw certain unspeakable words he used on him. And so eventually they turned to her, but she went on an outburst and said that every Murtala called her names as someone practicing that. But he has never caught her with his wife or girlfriend or sister having sex. Now, but fast forward, the internet doesn't forget. We know that years ago, it is on record that the same lady said that she does not regret practicing LGBTQ lesbianism in school. So people are asking, what's the big deal if Murtala says you are part of it, So let's know what you think.